On this video, I'm going to show you how I do my high tapers, specifically on clients that have a braided top, where you got to do that sharp separation or part. I came in with my one guard all the way open, just to knock down the hair, set me up to begin my taper. And you see I'm following the direction that the hair is growing, the angles. A lot of people's hair grows backwards right at the where the ear and the taper meet. So I'm starting my taper, building it out with my liners. These are like my least sharp liners and bulk removers. Just making sure I got a clean surface at all times, brushing the hair out of the way. And now I bought it all the way out with the foil shavers. Not everyone's skin can handle that. If they got a bunch of bumps present, you may want to skip that foil shaver. And now for the second area, I use my magic clip lever all the way open. And on my tapers, I like to blend these two areas together to begin my blend. On a fade, I'll set in all the areas first and then blend them. But I like to start off, I'll close my lever all the way and get that bottom line out. And then if another line is created, I open the lever up halfway, just get that out and spot treat anything as needed. You don't have to rush anything when you're trying to improve. You're going to want to have a client that you're comfortable with in the beginning, that you take your time and you try all this advanced stuff on. You're not going to want to do this on every person in the beginning of your career. You want to be more of a speed barber in the beginning. So here we go. The third area I set in is my one guard all the way open. Really trying to check out the direction that the hair is growing and making sure I'm going against the grain the same way all over. And now just to get that dark spot right next to the braids out, I throw on my 1.5 guard all the way closed. Right, now I put on my half guard. I come in with it all the way open. I go about 3/4 of the way into the one guard area. I close it a notch. I drop down to halfway into that one guard area. I close it one more notch and I drop it down to the quarter mark of that one guard area. And I close it all the way. And that will complete the blend and connection between the two areas. The lever open area and then the one guard area connection. Now you see me following the direction of the hair growth and just picking at any dark spots. And using the corner of my clippers, you see I'm trying to really get in there and get that dark area that's right next to the braid without hitting the braid. It's important to be cautious around these parts by braids or locks. And just having patience and continuing to slowly pick at flaws is really going to help you out. See, this shear point technique is really for those dark spots in the hair that just don't make any sense. They could be caused from just a crazy growth pattern or just more hairs per square inch in that area. So you spot treat it with that shear point technique. You're going to follow the direction of the hair when you come in with the shears. All right, now I prepped this lineup with a wipe of 91% alcohol on a rough neck strip, and then I sprayed it with holding spray. That's why it's shiny around his lineup. So I always begin my lineups on the temple line that's the furthest back, and then I use a comb or just my eyes to reference it on where it connects with the eyebrow, and then I match the other side to that. You always want to begin with the area that's the furthest back because we cannot put hair there. We can only take it away. I always say that. I say that because your choices are already cut out for you most times. I go to the highest side, and then I just have, because it can't come down no further, so I got to match the other side of that regardless. So if you go that direction first, it just saves you some time. And like I said, I'm just matching this side that was naturally lower to the highest side. Doing it just a little bit at a time because you don't want to have to, if you take it higher than the left side, now you got to bring up the high side to match it, and you just keep on going back. So take your time with this in the beginning. I like to do this before my razor line. I tilt the client back and you can see with the blade that's closest to me, I'm kind of laying down the hair some. And then I'm closing the shears and I'm trimming the hair that's coming over my line. These flyaways take away from the sharpness of your lineup. After removing some strays, I apply a shave gel. I use level 3 shave gel. Seems to be working well for me. And just going with the grain with the razor here. When you get to the middle of a client's head on the lineup with the razor, you have to be careful, take it slow because that's where the greatest part of the curve is at. The curvature of the skull is right in the center of their forehead there. So if you press too hard, you could dig into the skin, potentially cut or irritate them or cause razor bumps. And making sure I'm getting all them baby hairs in that fuzz. And it's going to reveal some bright skin underneath that's really going to make my lineup pop. Now you see I'm using the steam towel all around the lineup and on all those tapered areas to reduce irritation as well as removing all that holding spray that we had put on there to retain our lineup. All right, now I like to use a witch hazel and 70% alcohol mix, 50-50 mix. And then to help dry it out, I brush it and hit it with a towel that has powder in it. And then I comb all the strays over and run over it with my sharpest set of liners. The initial set-in of the line is with my dullest liners. And with the proper prep, you see the hair jumped right out of the way. I had a sharp line with my dullest liners. And now when we're hitting the strays and really fine tuning the line, we're using our sharpest ones after the razor line. And you see how I'm steadying the clipper with my left hand also. Don't be afraid to do that. Sometimes you need more steady hands than what you have. If you're drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, or whatever, your hands may be shaky. Don't be afraid to steady them. Now I'm applying I believe this is a waterproof enhancement that I used on this client. The enhancements look better than the dye, but it just jams up your airbrush machine so much they haven't came out with something with a solvent yet that dissolves it. So it does look better than the dye. I think the fibers look the best, but they're impractical at times. All right, so you see I filled in this colic area with this dye. And notice the right side of his line. That's a natural front line. If this client wanted it natural, we throw a natural razor ash line to accent the perimeter of his lineup, and he'd be out the door ready. But this client's in music videos. He's an artist, and all my clients get the celebrity treatment for real. So finishing it up with an oil sheen. See, got his taper right and his line right. This razor comb really helps me to remove just strays. Very detailed little tool there. Check them out. Following those steps after the enhancement, also I comb the hair over, hit the strays one more time. But following these steps that I've explained, you can make your tapers and haircuts look just like this. It's going to take some practice to get the smoothness of it all but you just got to take your time sometimes on one or two clients that you're very comfortable with, maybe a family member, or just somebody you're close with. Go all out on, use enhancements, do the razor line, do everything. But in the beginning, you're not going to be able to offer that to everybody. Remember that. You can still give a solid cut though.